An Extra Knife at Dinner, a Gabrielle Ibrahim mystery. An audio series by Patricia Asedegbega Nieto. A little something extra for my listeners. 2 days later.
Wow! Can you appreciate the difference between Mrs. Eremo and me? Antonia asked. I changed my mind, but she didn't. That should count for something. To think that we could have attended Sandra's funeral and never imagined all that was behind her death. Gabrielle refrained from pointing out that had Antonia not been ill and her stepmother not been kind to her, she might not have changed her mind. It was best not to shake that particular beehive. What about Chief Affaire and his wife? Antonia asked. I can't say I'm altogether surprised. Father did say a number of times that he was most unscrupulous. A shopping mall was the cause of my attack. Apparently they wanted Father out of the competition so their company could bid for the construction contract. The knife used was found in their house, along with some menacing letters to be sent to Father on his return. A few had my blood on them. Angela Affaire has repeated over and over again that I was never in danger. They just needed an injury and my blood, so Father would drop out of the race. The inspector informed us that they found her online search history. It seems she did her research about which part of the anatomy was the least dangerous to stab. Not that that gave me any comfort. I'm just still in shock at how far they were willing to go. And how little they studied Father's character if they thought that some blood and a few letters would deter him from getting what he wants, Antonia observed. He must be livid. Oh, yes, he is, Gabrielle replied. He says that he's going to make sure that all Chief Affaire's deeds come to light and that the couple spends a very long time locked away. Rot in jail were the specific words he used. Antonia looked worried. Are you sure Sandra will defend me fairly? You know that she doesn't like me at all. I don't know if it's such a good idea to leave me at her mercy. She might tell the judge to give me the harshest sentence, as it's in the best interest of me, her client. She promised, and Sandra takes that very seriously, so you can come home with me. You don't have to stay here anymore. That's why I'm here, Gabrielle told her. I want to stay, for a while at least, Antonia said. Things got so crazy in my head that I believed killing you would make everything right. Felt like I couldn't stop hearing my mother's words or stop the cycle from repeating itself. In my head, it felt inevitable. I don't think I've said it before, but I'm sorry. I know those words don't cut it, but I want to stay. I feel useful here, and I'm speaking to people who seem to understand me and are helping me see how destructive I've become. This isn't something that can be fixed in one day. For a long time, I've known that I don't feel the way I'm supposed to, or react to situations in a healthy way. And I can't fix it on my own. I need help. She looked down at her shoes. That's a huge step, Gabrielle replied. I know that there's a lot going on with you, but I want you to remember that sometimes we can't help the feelings that inundate us, especially when others feed us a twisted narrative. But you decide you call the shots, and you can learn to make the right decisions, irrespective of what you feel or not. I'll speak to Chooks and Edmund, but I don't want you to lock yourself here forever. I want you to get better and go back into the world. Anyway, since you'll be staying, I got you everything on that incredibly long list of yours. Antonia shrieked in delight and rushed towards the bags. It was the first time since Gabrielle had known her that her laughter was just that, laughter. Gabrielle got up to leave, glad that she had gone shopping, unsure of whether Antonia would want to come back with her. Her half-sister was pulling everything out of the bags and putting it all on the table, emitting little shrieks as she looked at every item. Suddenly Antonia looked up at her. You can go back to dating Alex if you like. I'll get over it, and I won't kill myself, don't worry, she said, and Gabrielle took a step back in shock at her words. I knew you were within earshot when I told Funke that I'd kill myself if you persisted in seeing Alex. Antonia went on. I also made sure you saw all those pill bottles in my bathroom. I feigned a headache and asked you to please get me something from my room for the pain. Earlier on, I'd arranged all the bottles, and I knew that after seeing them, you'd remember me saying that it would be quick, that those words would sound over and over in your mind until the doubts would get the best of you. Knowing you, the thought that I could carry out my plan would be enough to make you stay away from Alex, because you're that kind of person. You tend to put others first. But even if it pains me, if he makes you happy, then you should try to recover what you had. I'll live. For now, I don't want you to have to deal with anything extra. We've gone through too much, and we need to heal. Gabrielle insisted. I won't put my happiness over yours. There's nothing that can't wait. You know, at that party so long ago, when you saw us laughing and being happy, when you decided to make that call, Rachel and Yolanda Eremo saw Mark and Sandra there together and probably made a similar decision. A call was made and a plan was formed that could have ended in a world of pain for some families. I've given all that happened since then a lot of thought. So many things were decided based on one emotion or another, and fatal plans were made. These last 3 weeks, all I've done is think and try to hit the ground running. I need to go back to my method of praying on things and taking my time before making choices. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Yes, you are. Antonia grinned at her. I don't know if we'll ever be normal, you and I, but this here is the best conversation we've ever had, messed up as we are, and with all I've done. So, after giving my very grudging permission for you to date Alex, yet you not jumping for joy at the thought of being reunited with your beloved, I'm beginning to wonder if a certain doctor doesn't have anything to do with you dragging your feet. For one to be able to make a choice, an offer needs to be made, and it hasn't been so... Gabrielle replied. Antonia gasped. I can't believe that there's something I know more about than you. Okay, listen to the first lesson of many. That doctor is not going to say anything to you. You'll need to do what you've never done before, dear pupil. You'll need to show interest. I've seen him a few times, enough to tell that, like you, he's put up some kind of wall. Have you ever had a cat? She asked. At school, the nuns had 2, Freddie and Oreo. They were very fat because we all fed them on the sly. Gabrielle laughed at the memory, wondering what Antonia was getting at. My mother hated them. I had very little contact with them and grew to fear them too, Antonia said. But once I went to see a friend, and just as I was escorted into the living room, a cat walked in. I jumped onto the sofa in fright, but it just stood there, watching me from a distance, and then started grooming itself. I got down when my friend convinced me that it wouldn't come near me. Apparently, it was a very selective creature. About an hour into my visit, I saw that it had silently inched towards me, still looking at me with interest. And I have no idea why to this day, but I tentatively held out a hand, and it sniffed it. Maybe I was defying my mother, or I'd listened to my friend urging me not to be afraid. After that, the cat fell asleep at my feet. Your doctor friend has come here a few times, and when I've seen him work and speak to the people here, for some reason that cat came to my mind. That man has a lot to offer, but he won't cross over to do so just like that. He'll watch you from a distance and only approach when he trusts completely. Then he'll be all in. I suspect that you've let down your guard with him, probably in a way that you're not comfortable with. Just resist the urge to rebuild that wall of ice that usually surrounds you. So, who will it be? You seem to have a very special connection with both men, and they've really gone out of their way to protect you. I suspect that you'll be doing a good deal of praying, because you have 2 candidates a lot of women would kill for. Hopefully not in the literal sense. Antonia chuckled, a wicked smile on her face as she clutched a bottle of her favourite juice, evidently enjoying the situation.
Gabrielle laughed and shook her head. But as her hand touched the doorknob on her way out, it hit her that she did know who she wanted to embark on the rest of the journey of her life with. She just had not seen it until that exact moment. Worry not, Gabrielle and Co. will be back, so don't go anywhere. To stay up to date with Patricia Asedegbega's work, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications.